What's good, YouTube? We're talking college sports in the Deep South, where college football is king, and on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Got a little bit of breaking news for the Auburn Tigers, and it's not so much the fact that Auburn has picked up yet another offensive lineman. My main thing is just to talk about the perception of Auburn football at this particular point in the offseason. There is nothing going on the plains behind the scenes that give me any indication that Gus Malzahn is on the hot seat, that the Auburn football program is in trouble. There's a lot of activity and a lot of great results going on during the offseason. Now, can any of us predict what will happen once the game is played? No, we can't. We can't predict fumbles. We can't predict the play call that maybe you shouldn't have made. You can't predict, say, going forward on fourth, but you should have kicked the field. You can't predict those kind of things. But what you can predict are the controllables. And one thing I like about what Auburn is doing right now is that they're controlling the controllables. It's obvious Auburn definitely had an urgent need to fill the offensive line position. I mean, you talk about a situation where if Auburn did not get on the good foot with this thing in 2019 for the recruiting class of 2020, you're talking about Gus Malzahn and his staff definitely being out the door come 2020, at the end of 2020, because you just wouldn't have had the guys to supplement. But Auburn has made a great effort. They got some guys here in the 2019 class, got some junior college guys, and just recently picked up on Jeremiah Wright, which makes the sixth offensive line recruit for the Auburn Tigers in the 2020 class. What does this say about Auburn and the future for the Auburn Tigers, the future for Gus Malzahn? All right, we get it. You lose six, you win 6 games and lose 6, you're gone. However, something is happening at Auburn to where there's some stability. There is some effort to right the wrongs of the past, because I'm seeing a lot of different activity in the Auburn Tigers from what I've seen in past times. Auburn needs offensive linemen. Yeah, you might see 2 in the recruiting class the next year. But now the urgency is definitely getting thick. You're talking about 6 offensive linemen in this particular recruiting class, including the number 1 junior college offensive lineman in the country. So now you can say what you want. You can say exactly what you want. But I think Auburn is moving in the right direction, especially when it comes to recruiting. The coaches can't play on the field, but they can do their best to put the best guys on the field to give Auburn the best opportunity to win. And speaking of the number 1 offensive line recruit, JUCO-wise, you're talking about Zillion Zirar. We actually talked about him already. So, like I said, you don't have to be on the Gus bus if you don't want to. I mean, there are times when I'm not on it. But at the same time, we got to give credit where credit is due. Because I guarantee you, if Gus Malzahn and his staff would not have made any effort, any proactive effort to get things moving for the 2020 class, it would have been all types of, on 24/7 on Facebook, all types of negative comments. Okay? So give the man the credit. Give the man and his staff the credit what credit is due at a certain point. All right, so looking at the future for the Auburn Tigers, one thing that could be positive, if Auburn can have any type of success in the 2019 season, the 2020 schedule is very, very favorable. I'm not saying that North Carolina is going to be a pushover, but it's a winnable game for Auburn. Unlike having to come into the season playing against, Washington, Oregon, or if they had to do something crazy like play against Penn State, very manageable season. And especially with having to replenish the offensive line, the timing couldn't be any more perfect. But I'm telling you, you Auburn fans, you think you're frustrated now, but Gus Malzahn, if nothing else, you win 9 games, and you look at what's ahead schedule-wise, you got to give him one more year. Because I guarantee you will be even more frustrated having to go through the perception of having to replace the coaching staff, having to start all the way over and endure another 3 years trying to rebuild just because you hate Gus. All right? This is my spiel for the night here on Vernon Speaks Sports, Auburn. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger on my channel. Kind of keeping it short today. Auburn picks up on another offensive lineman here in the 2020 class. Very exciting news for the Tigers, and it just goes to show whatever they're saying in the background or whatever is future they are painting, the players are definitely buying in. As always, War Eagle.